Folks, this is stunningly powerful, but the notoriously unchristlike Donald Trump attended an inauguration service at the National Cathedral, where the presiding bishop from behind the lectern actually called Donald Trump out to his face on national TV for his cruelty, and we have to talk about it. But before we do, if you end up liking this video, Trump is the idol of the religious right who are politically motivated, even though he is as far from
the
Jesus
crusading
Christ
right
and Christian principles as you can possibly get. And here we have a bishop, Marianne Edgar Budd, taking the time during her sermon to actually bravely call out the most powerful man in the world, notorious for his cruelty, and daring him to find compassion and do better. We're going to play the clip and unpack it together.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now.
Because of you.
There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families. Some who fear for their lives.
What a sad old decrepit motherfucker.
The people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation. But the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands.
Illegal immigrants.
To find compassion and
right
welcome
in the front
here.
row.
Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
There you go. The supreme leadership.
Well, that was incredibly powerful, but Trump didn't seem particularly moved. He seemed pissed off, offended. His family members were visibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're all
so
offensive.
It doesn't seem like the bishop motivated Donald Trump to do anything, but again, a powerful moment, a powerful attempt. When you think about it, Trump is now the most powerful man on earth, less constrained than he's ever been.
See how quick they can fire her.
For his pettiness and his cruelty.
Condemn that church.
So for somebody who is not, the leader of a comparable superpower or great power, somebody with no military or political power, just clergy, somebody whose legitimacy and authority comes purely from allegedly shared belief, although Donald Trump certainly behaves antithetical to anything espoused by Jesus Christ or the New Testament, that's her only shield from somebody so powerful and cruel. And yet Bishop Marianne Edgar Budd took the time to challenge Trump to be better anyway, in front of his family, in front of perhaps hundreds of guests, and then it was televised, and that clip has gone viral. Donald Trump apparently was asked about it after the service. This is according to The Hill. Trump was later asked what he thought of the service, and he told reporters he found it, quote, not too exciting, quote, they could do much better, Trump added. Now, obviously, this is in context of a flurry of executive orders that Trump signed yesterday in his first day in office, as well as his general campaign
partying the
rhetoric.
felons.
And I also want to play, just to contextualize this, his newly anointed border czar, Tom Homan, also legendary for his cruelty, was asked about raids and arrests conducted against undocumented migrants at schools. And this is what Tom Homan had to say earlier today.
If and when ICE went into a school,
Why don't you start with Trump's wife,
that would be highly contentious.
Elon Musk.
Oh, absolutely. But then again, you know, what's our national security worth? I mean,
what's our national security worth? I mean, we have to arrest students. We have to arrest undocumented
there you
migrants
go.
at school. We have to
The convicted felon president partying all the convicted felons.
Teachers. What's our national security worth? This is the context that in which Bishop Budd said what she said and challenged Trump to do what she do, to do what she thinks he should do. So I'll also point out that with respect to immigration and immigrants in this country, Donald Trump did something wildly unconstitutional yesterday with one of his executive orders, as Vox writes. The single most unconstitutional thing Trump did yesterday, explained. On Monday, his first day back in office, Donald Trump issued a wave of executive orders. Some are ridiculous, such as an order purporting to rename the Gulf of Mexico Gulf of America. Others are ominous, such as an order seeking to drastically increase the number of federal civil servants who can be fired at will. Many of the orders seek to implement the kind of harsh immigration policies that have always been at the heart of Trump's political message. The most alarming of these
There's a good order.
seeks to strip millions of future Americans.
Fire at will.